What is up, YouTube? Today we're going to be going over dive, stick, and just how you can really start mixing this in when you start noticing your opponents are going to be committing heavily to the run. So we're going to be in single back wing flex close. Make sure you have this adjustment done before you even choose a play. Lane Johnson needs to be on the tight end that is to the furthest to the outside. He's going to be leading the way against dive and stretch and opening the holes for you. So make sure you make that change and go ahead and slap whoever your next tackle is right there. It doesn't matter. The play, we're going to go ahead and get everything set up. I already did this. I forgot to mute my mic, so I'm redoing this. HB dive needs to replace HB zone weak. HB zone weak sucks. It's a terrible run. So we're going to go ahead and replace that with dive, and we're always coming out in a stretch. You also need to replace PA cross switch with drive Y corner, especially when they start getting into a cover 2. So we're going to go ahead and replace that. We'll come out and stretch every single time, and we're audible into it. I want to start in a cover 1 man blitz. So we're going to go into Storm Brave 1. I have noticed when they're in a man blitz, whether it be a cover 0 or a cover 1, or I think there's cover 2 man blitzes. I'm sure somebody can make something up out there for that. But if they're coming out in some sort of man defense and you notice it's a man blitz, every single time you're going to audible into dive. Then what you're going to do is you're going to motion over Lane Johnson. Now, first and foremost, this is a tip that is going to help you guys a lot, especially when you go against actually decent players. You will notice on the run game, I can move throughout my whole offensive line. Your opponent can see the names underneath these offensive linemen or any player you're on. As soon as I audible to, let's just say, a passing play, you notice I can no longer jump onto the offensive line. And so that's a telltale way to know, oh, hey, they're running it. I need to really commit to the run, or they're going to pass it. If you notice them starting to just be able to jump, they can't go across our offensive line, then perhaps you need to start committing to the pass a little bit more than what you anticipate. A little bit of a tip right there. So we're going to audible into dive. Again, you notice I can now hover over these guys. My opponent can now see that. But keep in mind, you can kind of work your way around that by just working your way literally around the offensive line so they're never sure if it's a run or a pass. Again, this is when we're going against a higher tier player. We're going to motion over Lane Johnson and just look for the hole that's going to open up. This is really good when they really start committing to the stretch on either the left side. If you have done this motion over a lot and you've ran the stretch to the bunch side now, they might expect to stretch to the outside and overcommit, shift their D-line that way, shift their linebackers that way, move everybody over that way, and then, well, surprise, surprise, we're going to do this instead. We're going to motion this guy over, snap the ball, and we're going to get a good almost 10 yards off of that. Now, if you can snap the ball on time, you're going to get about close to 15 yards every snap. Again, it's just kind of timing it. As soon as he passes it, I'm just like spamming that A button and then off to the races. Now right there, they just shedded as soon as I tried to get through the hole. But you guys can see there's an open lane for you to shoot. Lane Johnson is really just kind of confusing the defense and which way they're going to go. And since everybody knows how bad pursuits are, this is just kind of what works right now. So again, motion over, spam that A button, let him lead the way, and off the races we go. Spin. Nope, this isn't Madden 19. But if you have evasive or whatever the other garbage is called, you can easily spin a defensive player or truck with Bo Jackson, and off the races a touchdown. Really, really simple to do. Now, I want to go into a cover 4 drop show too. This is going to play the dive a little bit better than a man defense would. Again, we're going to be working on a single back wing flex close. We're just going to stay in dive for now. 3-4, cover 4, drop show 2. So, same thing with this. I have noticed that in a zone, whether it be cover 3, cover 2, cover 4, or cover 6, or cover 4 quarters, whatever it is, the zone defense seems to play the dive a little bit better than man defense does. So if you notice they're in a zone, generally what we're looking for is to run a stretch play. So instead what we're going to do the same thing, motion over Lane Johnson, and we'll get about 2 or 3, maybe get lucky and break a 6-yard gain. Oftentimes it's really short yardage. So we'll just go ahead and motion this guy over as always, snap the ball, you can see right here, gain of about 5 yards before we get a shed from behind and get tackled. Again, you're going to notice if we're going to instant replay, there is a huge difference. The safeties in the cover 4 drop show 2 are automatically coming down to play the run, just like they would in a man defense. And you can see we're not going to get as far as if it were a man style blitz. So really just keep that in mind. This is something that's good for about short yardage. Just really not something you're meant to break for about 20, 30, 60, 100 yard touchdown or whatever it may be. This is good for like 3rd and 2, 2nd and 3, 4th and 1. There's some short yardage that you just need to pick up. So again, just motion them over and kind of just follow your blocks. Right there, we get a little bit better blocking, but that's generally right there is what's going to happen frequently. You'll get about 1, maybe 2 yards off of the snap, roughly. Again, results may vary, as some commercials say. So right here, snap the ball, motion over, let him set the block for us. Right there, we can get a gain, again, of about 5, maybe 6 yards. You guys are kind of seeing this pattern. It's not a huge gain, although it is a consistent gain. So now we're going to switch over to the stick play. The last 2 plays that aren't going to be in this video are going to be verticals and drive corner and working those in. So let's go. Why am I always going into shotgun? Let's go back into single back wing flex close. We're going to work in stick. We're going to go into 3-4 odd, storm 1, storm brave 1, storm 1 brave, whatever. So right here, you do have to be aware of this flat route. We're just going to run this stock and kind of explain what's going on right here. So this stick route, or B and A, they're kind of like an option route, and they're very, very good for beating man coverage. Now, the issue we're going to run into is there's now 2 defenders over there guarding that. So let's go into instant replay and kind of break this down a little bit better. So let's zoom out, fast forward a little bit. You'll see this clearly, he beats his man, but now we've got this corner over here that if they click on, he can easily make a He can easily make a play on the ball. Same thing goes for Zach Ertz. He beats his man as well. But again, we have a corner over there that we've got to deal with, and if they click on, it's probably going to be a pick. So we've got to get rid of that. It's really simple to do. This audible into stick, we're going to go ahead and put X and RB on a drag. Now this is a quick read. This isn't something that you can sit on. Otherwise, those drags are going to do the same thing as those little flat routes will, and just cause all sorts of issues. Now, if you guys are playing Mutt, or if you're playing with the Patriots or the Saints, what you can do is you can put that X receiver on a little, what is it called, corner route, or I'd put him on a post route instead, and that'll help that area of the field a lot more, especially when Alshon Jeffrey runs that little option route, or whether he wants to run an out route or a little hitch route. Generally, if it's man defense, they're going to run that little out route, and it's going to get a little bit of a speed boost and just toast his man. So let's go ahead, run it now. You can see a lot cleaner. There's actual space for him to be able to get open. There's not a defender over on that side of the field either. And we're able to get an easy dot. We'll do that one more time. This time we'll look for Zach Ertz. So we're going to go into stick, drag X, drag RB, and block a running back. Generally, if it's a man blitz, or if I catch him sleeping on the run defense heavy, then I'm expecting like 6 or 7, and we got to look for a quick dot. So right here, Zach Ertz will also be his man. You can see dot. Again, it's not a huge gain. Well, right there is actually a pretty big gain. You're usually looking for a short dink and dunk. The way that this offense runs is just short yardage, unless you want to stretch play and get about 10 to 15, 20, 30, 60 touchdowns, whatever, with how this stretch play works. But this is just really a good way to work in if they start manning up a lot of people, if they start blitzing everybody, or they start blitzing their safeties, putting their safeties in spies, manning their safeties up. I don't really care. This little stick play is going to torch it. Again, it's really basic, and it's just something to be working in. So now let's just go and switch over to a zone. Zone's going to play this a little bit better, though they tend to be able to get underneath hook curl. So we're going to go into stick. We'll go back into cover 4 drop show 2, and we'll just see who can get open right here. Again, I'm going to block running back. We're going to kind of read and react to how the defense is. If you have a mobile quarterback, that's going to help you guys out a ton in this formation, because if there's nobody open and there's nobody that's spying, you can take off. Like Lamar Jackson, fantastic, absolutely amazing in this situation. In fact, I would almost say that you can see right there, low ball, dot. Again, gain of about 4 or 5 yards. If he actually does the drop down animation instead of like lunge forward, really simple. So sticks meant to be cover 4 quarters. It'll often be to cover 3 as well. So we'll see if Zach Ertz gets open. He does. Low ball. That's kind of the animation we're looking for, except like it's like a diving, leap forward, sideways animation. I can't really explain it. If we can get the animation, you guys can see what it is. But in a zone coverage, we're just going to leave it stock and just block our running back. Now, if you expect the user to be able to cover both of them, you can really just distract the user, especially if you know they're only rushing like 3 or 4. And then in turn, you can put Y on a little curl route or whatever you guys want to run. Or you can just block them like I like to. And again, dink and dunk. That's the animation we're looking for right there. A gain of about 6 yards. So this is how I'm going to work in stick. This is how I'm going to work in dive. Again, you're really going to start working this in when you notice they're consistently blitzing everybody, or they're 100% committed to the run, or when they start run committing, you can just throw somebody on a streak. Or we got a separate play for that as well, which will be in the following video. Keep dropping likes on this video, and I'll keep dropping this little mini scheme for you. But we got one more video after this that's gonna wrap it all up. Since we're halfway, the 2 teams I'd recommend this for is number 1, first and foremost, every single time, the Philadelphia Eagles. Second is probably, this is a tough one, probably the Ravens because of Lamar Jackson, and since we're not really looking for deep bombs most times, we're looking for short yards. Mark Ingram's also going to be able to get the job done. You can work the Cowboys in with this since they have a pretty good offensive lineman. So I guess you could say it's between those 3 teams. Cowboys, Ravens, Eagles, number 1, always, just because of Lane Johnson. He's impossible to stop. There's no defense out there to beat Lane Johnson. So anyways, that's going to take care of this video. Let's get a goal. Let's get another like goal since you guys crushed it last time. Let's go ahead and get 7 likes on this video, and we'll keep it up. So yeah, this is going to be the end of this video, and until next time, guys, be sure you get into practice mode. Really recognize what your opponent's doing. This scheme, it really depends on how good of a user and how good you read the coverage and defense. If you can't read that, check out MasterMadden.com. We've got a beginner's offensive guide that will help you guys out a ton. We've got a couple games that we review there as well. So that's going to be down below in the description as well as stretch play. So until next time, guys, get in the lab. This has been T-Meister. See ya.